Remembering Hayden Fry, the legacy of a legend. Now Fox 28 Sports Eye on the Hawks special.
I have done my homework to find out if Iowa is going to be committed to do whatever is necessary within the rules and regulations to be comparable with the winners in the Big Ten. I have been assured that this will take place. Therefore, I am exceptionally happy to accept the job as head football coach here.
That was December 9th, 1978. Iowa officially introduced Hayden Fry as their new head coach, and then everything changed. After that press conference, Fry, with his patented white pants and Texas twang, quickly changed the Hawkeye culture and started laying the foundation for a winning program. In his third year, everything was rolling. In 1981, Iowa not only beats Nebraska and dominates Michigan State, but Hayden leads the Hawks to their first winning season in 19 years, a Big Ten championship, and a Rose Bowl berth.
The Hawkeyes are going to the Rose Bowl.
First down and 10.
The next season,
Long gets a good block, goes deep. Moritz is open. That'll be 6.
they took down Tennessee in the Peach Bowl. In 1985, it was even better.
Giving on the deep handoff to the end around to Bayless. He dives in for the touchdown.
Hayden's Hawks spent 5 weeks ranked #1 in the nation while rolling to a school record 10 wins, including beating second-ranked Michigan 12-10.
Okay, here we go. Vlasic will hold it. 29-yard field goal try. Spot is down. The kick is up. It's high enough, far enough. The Hawks win it! Iowa has beaten Michigan! Oh, brother, what a game!
Another Big Ten championship and another trip to Pasadena for Iowa. 87, Marv Cook's 28-yard touchdown catch with 6 seconds left took down the Buckeyes in Columbus. While in 91, Fry's Hawks were flying high, 10 more wins and a third trip to the Holiday Bowl. In 20 seasons, Hayden led the Hawks to 143 wins, which was at the time the most in program history. 14 bowl games, 6 bowl wins, and 3 Big Ten titles. He coached 8 consensus All-Americans and 62 different All-Big Ten first-teamers. And on November 23, 1998, he held his final press conference as Iowa's head coach.
It's kind of hard to do. All the people that gave me an opportunity to spend 20 years as a member of the Hawkeye family, I could never repay them. Man, 47 years I never had to do this. Thanks to all of the wonderful players through the years, it's just been super. Their representation of the University of Iowa on the field and the classroom. Got an awful lot to be proud of. I couldn't put into words my love and appreciation for what these student athletes have done.
You know, it's like your dad. I mean, you know your dad's not going to live forever, but we all hope they do. And I think that's kind of the feeling we have right now.
And coming up, the head hawk, Kirk Ferentz, tries to put into words what Hayden Fry has meant to him. That's next on Eye on the Hawks.
Remembering Hayden Fry, the legacy of a legend. Now Fox 28 Sports Eye on the Hawks special.
We all have mentors, and so it starts at home, usually with your parents, and then people like Joe Moore and Hayden Fry. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I got it took me 25 years. I got a window now, so he's looking at me and Rita every day. So both of us better be on good behavior.
It's never easy to follow the footsteps of a legend, but I'd say Kirk Ferentz has pretty much filled Hayden's shoes. He is, after all, the winningest coach in Iowa football history. You already know who he passed to get there, his mentor, Hayden Fry, who Ferentz gives all the credit in the world for him being a Hawkeye.
He took a shot on me. I didn't have a resume that would merit really opportunity here, but he took a chance on me. And then more importantly, once I was here, he served as a mentor and a role model, I think, on a daily basis. And since that time, he's also been a cherished friend. So, I can't say enough about the role that he played in my life and my family's life. And again, I think I speak for so many people that coached for him, played for him, So, the real story is Coach Fry. He's just a really impressive person.
And Ferentz wasn't the only coach. Coach Fry not only gave a shot, but groomed to be one of the best coaches in college football history. Take a look at his coaching tree. Any of these names jump out at you? All of these guys were assistants under Hayden and all went on to shape the college football landscape. Bill Snyder, only the winningest coach in K-State history. Bob Stoops, winningest coach in OU history. Barry Alvarez, winningest coach in Wisconsin history. Dan McCarney, well, you get the picture. Barry Alvarez had this to say about Hayden's passing, quote, "He gave me a break and I will forever be grateful for that. I was fortunate enough to be on his first staff at Iowa. He was a tremendous mentor and friend." One of those former assistants turned all-time winningest coaches and insert program here, Dan McCarney. He joins us on the phone. And Coach Mack, how would you describe Coach Fry's legacy?
Coach Fry was a life changer. He was a trailblazer. He was just a real maverick. He was when you didn't even hear the term "think outside the box" decades ago. Hayden Fry was thinking outside the box, and collectively. With the people that he brought in and the people he surrounded himself with and the young men we went and recruited, we were part of history that a whole country who never, it had been decades since Iowa football had really been respected from around the nation. And Hayden got the attention, he got the respect, he brought honor, he brought prestige to Iowa football. And it was the way he did it. He did it with class, he did it with style, he did it his own way. He didn't care whether people liked him in white pants and sunglasses. He didn't care if people liked, if they liked, it was the Big Two and Little Eight forever. And he loved busting that whole thing up so that it was more than Michigan and Ohio State, which it was for years and years and years. And his legacy will live on for years and years to come and for generations to come. And he touched all of our lives. He changed the course of so many of our lives. And it's hard to put into words the impact he had on so many people. Very rarely do you see a football coach that can really impact an entire state as Coach Fry did the state of Iowa. And there were a lot of reasons behind that, but I just think he made such an impact on people's lives for so many years that the state of Iowa is sure a lot better place because Hayden Fry decided to come in there and coach the Hawkeyes.
We know about the wins, but the Tiger Hawk was him, the pink locker room, the swarm, America Needs Farmers. That was all him. It was bigger than football for Fry, right?
That was Coach Fry all the way, It wasn't like we sat around in a staff meeting and thought up emblems and themes to put on helmets. He was that way. He was sensitive to things that mattered to people. He was even though he was a Texan, he was a transplanted Hawkeye and an Iowan and loved that state and the people. And when you can transform an entire program and get an entire state, whether they were Panthers or Cyclones or Hawkeyes or whatever their affiliations were, they respected Hayden Fry and what he did. And then it really permeated throughout the country because of the national attention and the national success that we had. Just an incredible guy. And it was always, with Coach Fry, you always believe this, and I knew this at the time, and obviously as the years have passed, you realize it even more. But for every player and for every coach, that was a part of that program. And with Coach Fry, he was teaching us lessons all the time that were lessons in life, not just football, not just trying to beat Iowa State, not just trying to beat Michigan or Wisconsin or Ohio State. He was teaching us lessons that we could apply to our lives as dads, as husbands, in whatever business, whatever profession we got into. You can apply these things and don't ever forget them. And those are the things that last, I think, forever in your lifetime, is those things that he taught us and those lessons that he showed all of us, that you can apply this and this will help. And, you know, all of us go through health issues. If you haven't, you will. Cancer's everywhere. In the end, it brought down Coach Fry, but I think one of the many reasons he lived to 90 years old and he started having cancer treatments in 1998 was because he applied the things that he taught all of us to his health issues when it happened to him. That was perseverance, that was courage, that was toughness, that was confidence, that was belief that you could get through any adversity. And he taught us those things on a daily basis. And I think it really applied to Coach Fry when he had to overcome all these cancer issues and health issues once he retired and once he was out of football.
Now, before we let you go, I want to ask you about his coaching tree. All those names and all their success, that was a sort of pride for him, wasn't it?
He was so proud of this. ESPN has done a survey recently on who had put out the most assistant coaches to become head coaches. And he had a total of 29 is what he told me. The number was 29 that were head coaches that used to be assistants for Hayden Fry. And he said, you know, Mac, you know who finished third behind me? I said, no, Coach, who's that? And he said, Bobby Bowden. He said, you know who finished second behind me? I said, no, Coach, who was it? He said, Paul Bear Bryant. And he was so thrilled and so honored that big part of his legacy is all the opportunities that he gave all of us assistant coaches through the years.
All right, Coach Mack, really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks. Take care of yourself.
Our guys are winners, and that's the reason we're out here. And now they want to, squeeze it down and get ready for the ball game.
Winners on Saturdays, and more importantly, winners in the game of life. The impact Coach Fry had on his players is next on Eye on the Hawks.
Remembering Hayden Fry, the legacy of a legend. Now, Fox 28 Sports Eye on the Hawks special.
I'm just a simple old country boy, but when I say something, it's the truth. And I said, hey, this is my last college job right here. I love Iowa. I love the people. I love everything here, and if I leave here, it's going to be, I'm going to be a beach bum, or I'm going to be looking for that treasure up in the mountains or something, but it's not going to be coaching. I love it here.
20 years at a place, you're bound to impact lives along the way. Hayden Fry did just that to Lou Montgomery. And Sweet Lou, before we get to his legacy, take me back. You're an 18-year-old kid at Waterloo East, and Hayden Fry's coming knocking on your door. You're getting offers from Nebraska, Michigan State, and Notre Dame. You chose Iowa. What was that like with Hayden Fry sitting at your kitchen table?
Yeah. That was an amazing experience, Zach. And I'll tell you, Coach Fry was just such an inspiration, and really a lot of things that you learn about Coach Fry over the years, at least the course of the 5 years that I was there, was, his character and his integrity, and those are a lot of the things that he taught us about. But Coach Fry sitting at your kitchen table, he's got the cowboy boots on, he's got the dark glasses, and he's talking in that southern drawl. It makes you excited, and that was one of the reasons why I chose the University of Iowa was, not only the program and the success that it had, but also the university and what academically I was able to achieve.
Now, what was it like in practice? I mean, I heard that he gave everybody nicknames. I mean, was he kind of an intimidating guy in practice, or was he just, the guy with the glasses?
Yeah. No, Coach Fry in practice he was just like you see him in normal life. He was always around. He can be intense, don't get me wrong. If you didn't do what you needed to do, he would be quick to correct you. But more importantly, he was fun. He was the kind of guy that you could talk to, and he gave everybody a nickname. And my nickname was Flip Wilson. My name was Flip. So everywhere I went, he was like, hey, Flip. And I knew exactly who he was talking about. I even tried to change it, Zach, to Sweet Lou, and he reverted back to Flip.
It didn't work. All right, so we'll call you Flip from now on. But, all the wins, all the memories, all the bowl games you were a part of, what's the one memory of Hayden Fry that you're going to remember for the rest of your life?
Well, I think one of the greatest memories I have of Coach Fry was his just the kind of person he was. And let's erase all the wins and losses for a minute, and we talk about the person. And I think one of the most memorable things that I could say about Coach Fry is his integrity and how he really wanted to emphasize the importance of education. And you look at our program now and how it has transcended through those same kinds of things, it still carries on. That legacy continues. But the legacy that Coach Fry left really evolves around the kind of person that he was. You know, how do you feel after you have had an experience in talking to him or being around him, and once you walk away, you feel so much better because of the kind of person he was.
Yeah, and your 5 years with him, did you become a better person because of the time you spent with him?
Oh, absolutely. I think if you look at over the course of 5 years, you got 125 18 to 20, 22-year-olds, and it's like herding cats sometimes, as you can imagine. And each one of us is going in different directions. And Coach Fry had this unique ability from a psychological perspective to be able to say, hey, you know, guys, you got to take care of business. I remember a lot of times he would always tell us, particularly against the Iowa State week, he would always remind us, he says, hey, you don't want to be the first team in 15 years to get beat by Iowa State, because you guys will never forget that the rest of your life. And that makes you play a little bit harder, not only for us Iowa kids, but he was able to do that with kids who, from all across the country, they played a little bit harder. So that psychological edge is what he also was able to provide to you. I apply it every day in my life sometimes, even with my own kids.
Yeah.
I try to play that psychological mind game. I don't have it as good as he does, but what a great individual he was, and he'll surely be missed.
What's his legacy? I mean, he turned the program around, and he is Iowa football.
Yeah. I think his legacy, I think he changed Iowa football at all levels. And I mean that from elementary school, from intermediate school all the way up through the college ranks. I think football in Iowa prior to Coach Hayden Fry arriving at Iowa was just another state that had football. But once Iowa came on board and he changed that program, he rebranded it with the Tiger Hawk. He got the fans involved, the ANF, the farmers, all of that good stuff involved. He reinvented and really took this program and recreated and created a competitive program for the entire state of Iowa. So his legacy to me will always be the fact that Iowa football is on the map because of Coach Fry.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed an old-fashioned rump kicking.
Gone but never forgotten. Why Hayden will always have the hearts of the Hawkeyes. You're watching Eye on the Hawks.
Remembering Hayden Fry, the legacy of a legend. A Fox 28 Sports Eye on the Hawks special.
On December 17th, 2019, Hayden Fry passed away. But the man who made Iowa football what it is today will never be forgotten. Just like his Fryisms, he scratched where it itched and had a hell of a high porch picnic doing it during his 2 decades in Iowa City. Those phrases are just part of the many memories of what the legendary football coach built. The pink locker room, the Tiger Hawk, ANF. Hayden won a lot of games at Iowa, but more importantly, he made a lot of Iowans feel like winners.
I truly love the University of Iowa. I truly love the state of Iowa. And I'll always be a Hawk.
Hayden Fry was 90 years old.